Yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yalla la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay 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 yallay la lay lay lay.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is such a delight to be with all of you today, whether you are here in person or here on Zoom. Your presence is felt and is so appreciated. A few just quick reminders before we go into services. One is for everyone who's online, I encourage you to please keep yourself muted just so that people will be able to hear all of the beautiful things that Hayley will be leading us in this morning. And for everyone who is here present, I ask you please to wear face masks during the service. Under LA County guidelines, we still need to ask for this, except when you come up to lead a part of the service, you are welcome to take your mask off. Today, we have come for this moment of celebration, because not only is it the day of rest, not only is it the sacred day of Shabbat, but it is also a day in which an incredible young lady is becoming Bat Mitzvah. And we together can join in gratitude that we have reached this moment, that we can be here through the marvels of technology and the marvels of just how far we've come to be able to share this moment in this inclusive way. We are going to begin services by having Hayley receive her very own talit. And I'm going to invite up Elise and Kevin to offer this symbol to her. As we learned last night, the talit, or at least the tzitzit, the knots that are on the sides, come from this week's Torah portion. And they are reminiscent of all of the 613 mitzvot, the commandments that she takes on as a bat mitzvah, as a daughter of the commandments. Right over here.
Microphone?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Beautiful.
Is there anything you want to say? Okay, that's what I got.
You can sit down. Good job.
Beautiful, and we hope that you'll wear this beautiful talit for many, many, many years to come.
I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me realize I am beautiful and whole. I am perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. day as a gift I give to you. Oh, whoa, 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 Baruch atah Adonai, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. וואו, וואו, now that we've given our blessing for our bodies, we continue with the blessing for our souls. Elohai Neshama, page 196. Elohai, Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzarta, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata meshamra, meshamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi tehorahi. Our Bat Mitzvah now continues leading us on page 198 with Nisim B'chol Yom, the miracles of every day.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind and the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu latzot b'divrei Torah. We continue with Ashrei on page 215.
Yeah. Well, if you look.
Ashrei, Oshrei V'Tevhav, Odir Hallelu Selav. Ashrei, Oshrei V'Tevhav, Odir Hallelu Selav. Ashrei, 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 Oshrei V'Tevhav. Ashrei, 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 Oshrei V'Tevhav. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Ashrei, Oshrei V'Tevhav. Odir Hallelu Selav. Ashrei, Oshrei V'Tevhav. Odir Hallelu Selav.
Nothing.
Please rise and bow your spirit for our call to worship the Baruch Hu on page 226.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMorach Leolam Va'ed.
Don't understand it? Your problem.
Please go to page 228.
I never got an email. I never got
We got an email through me.
Isn't that great? You are you. You think about you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Zer or uvrei hoshech, osei shalom uvrei et
I
hakol.
said it was at 10.
Yes la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim, uvtuvo
I'm
makayim,
sorry,
koyin
Marty.
tamid,
You
ma'aseh
You weren't
in
v'rishim.
here
ready.
and you
Marabu
come in
ma'asecha Adonai,
like a
v'lam
normal
b'chokhmah
husband
asita,
in a
malacha
family.
aretz kinyaneha.
You should say,
Titzvara Adonai Eloheinu,
I
al
got
shevach
some
ma'aseh
things.
yadecha, va'al murei or sha'asita, evaharuha sela. Or hadash al siyom ti'ir, v'nizkei kulam ma'ora le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMe'orot.
Then I can tell you. What do I?
Please join me in the middle of the page on 233.
Okay.
31, sorry. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. In the light blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one. You as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Please be seated. We are on page 232.
Shema first.
Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We are on page 234. for the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol avavcha uv'kol nashecha uv'kol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevaveha v'shinantam levaneha v'dibartam bam v'shivteha v'viteha uvleftecha v'derek uvshochbechav uvkumecha ukshatam leot al yadecha v'chayu letortev ot beineinecha ukshatam al mezuzot beitecha uvishaharecha Laman tiskeru va'asitem ekol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloehem Ani Adonai Elohehem Asher Hotzetiatem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liliot Lachem Lelohim Ani Adonai Elohehem Adonai Elohehem Emet. Join me at the top of the page of 239. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir of the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and Israel, we sing out and rejoice.
Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bam. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bam. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora te'iloto zebele, Nora te'iloto zebele. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bam. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bam. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam. שיר החדשה שיבחו גאולי לשמחה שפת הים יחד כולם עוד וימלכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל עובדי חינומך יהודה וישראל כה עלינו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We continue with the Amidah. Please rise in body or spirit.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Chonei Hakol, V'shocher Hasdei Avot V'imanot, Umevi Eula Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umakin. Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Akol HaTorah le'loshia, Morid Hatal, Mechachel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Veroflech Cholim, Umadir Asurim, Umachayim Emunato, Lishenei Achar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimitz, Umachayeh, Umatzmika Yeshua, Ve'eman Atal L'chayot Takol. Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I begin to enter your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries, lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, Eternal Teacher. Encourage my seeking as I fill my hours with your mitzvot. So shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם. אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גולך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please take a few moments for your own personal meditations and prayers, and when you are ready, you may be seated.
רצונים רפי, יהיו לרצונים רפי, ועניון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru ve'imeru Amen.
So at Temple Bethel, there's a tradition that actually started with Rabbi Briskin. And I know Rabbi Briskin is here today, and we're so grateful that you are present with us this morning or this afternoon, your time. But the tradition is that every Bat Mitzvah student can ask what is called a burning question, a question of anything to do with what Judaism teaches about just about anything. And so I asked Hayley, what is the question that you have today that you want me to just start to answer? And she said, well, I don't know if it's a good one. And then she offered a question that is one of the most profound and challenging questions that I've ever been asked. And that is, why is it that good people die? It's a very deep, a very challenging question for all of us, because we all know good people who have been taken from this world well before their time, especially during this year where we've had so much challenge in our world, in our community, and within our circles. But this question that you've come up with, Hayley, is a question of theodicy, a question of how, if God, this good God, created this world, can there possibly be so much suffering? Could there be so much challenge and so much loss? And I want to begin to answer the question, knowing that this answer I will give over the next 5 minutes is scratching the surface on something that you could study for a lifetime and not have an answer to. But just starting with the story of Job. Because we all know the story of Job. Job was this righteous individual. The book of Job starts out by saying so. He was this good man, and his family was filled with good people. And then suddenly, so much of the goodness in his life is stripped of him. His children die, his health deteriorates, his material possessions go away. And he has to try to figure out, why is it that these awful things are happening if there's goodness in this world? Now, in Rabbi Hartman wrote in a book, his name I'm forgetting at the moment, but essentially that the book of Job is really a struggle with the idea that morality and the actuality in our world are sometimes not in sync at all. That we want to believe that if we live our lives in just and moral ways, that we'll be rewarded. And if we make mistakes, then there's consequences for that. But what Job has to grapple with is that you can live your life in a moral way and bad things still happen. We might be aware of Harold Kushner. Harold Kushner wrote a book entitled When Bad Things Happen to Good People. And the reason he wrote this book is because he had a 14-year-old son named Aaron who died tragically from a rare genetic disease that was incurable. But what Harold Kushner does within his book is he says, you know what? We don't actually have an answer to why bad things happen to good people. Maybe it's because we're human and we make mistakes. Maybe it's because there are natural forces that are simply outside of our control. It could be for any number of reasons, but what Rabbi Kushner said is, you know what? I want to believe that God is not causing these things. I want to believe that God is there with us and supporting us when the unthinkable happens in our world. And he writes, God does not cause our misfortunes. Some are caused by bad luck, some are caused by bad people, and some are simply an inevitable consequence of our being human and being mortal, living in a world of inflexible natural laws. He continues, we could bear nearly any pain or disappointment, just as he did, if we thought there was a reason behind it, a purpose to it. But even a lesser burden becomes too much for us if we feel it makes no sense. When we're enduring something that is so difficult as a good person being taken from this world too soon, it can feel like an unbelievable burden. Unless perhaps, as Rabbi Kushner was doing, we change that suffering into an experience filled with meaning. And he talks about a midrash that tells about how Moses was climbing up to the mountain. We know he received the 10 Commandments, right? And he's coming down from the mountain. And he sees that the Israelite people are doing what? They're worshiping the golden calf. And what happens? The letters on the 10 Commandments, the letters on these 2 tablets begin to come off and they begin to fly away. And he is just holding these 2 heavy stones, which minutes before had been bearable. He could hold them, but as soon as their purpose, as soon as their meaning had flown off of them because of what was going on, they became so heavy that he dropped them. So too is our suffering. At times, terrible things happen. We have no understanding truly of why these things happen. But what we do know is if we can take those experiences and we can make meaning from them, then we can find strength, we can find purpose, and we can make the lives of those who are taken too soon into lives of meaning for many, many, many years to come. Helping to turn suffering into meaning, and in do so, making the burden just a little bit lighter. I hope always, Hayley, that you continue to ask all and every one of your questions, because I guarantee that not a single one of them is not worthy of being answered. You are such a thoughtful person that I never want you to second guess and never stop asking those questions. And so much of our answers, our guidance, comes from this holy scroll that we have right here beside us, the scroll that you will be reading from and that you'll be receiving from your parents in just a few moments. And this particular scroll has a whole lot of meaning because this scroll here is actually a Holocaust scroll. It's a scroll from Česko Budějovice. There we go, I got it. A scroll that the Nazis took in hopes of putting in a museum to the Jewish people that once was. And yet, we are able to not only have the scroll before it, but for Hayley as a Bat Mitzvah to read from it, sending forth the message that our religion, our faith, our community is not only surviving, but is actually thriving. And reading from this Torah scroll, you are showing an act of resilience, an act of love, and it's an act of pride for all of us who are here today. And so I'd love to invite you up, Elise and Kevin, and Sean, if you want to stand by as well as Hayley receives the Torah from you. Actually, even before that, you can come up here, but I want Hayley to say her Bat Mitzvah pledge first.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahatzok b'divrei Torah. I'm about to receive the gift of Torah and share it in the sacred responsibility of teaching Torah to others. I am able to do this because I've studied and because I've made a commitment to the value of learning. In order for me to grow as a Jew and to share with others the blessings I have received, I accept this responsibility to continue with my Jewish education through confirmation and perhaps even beyond. As Bat Mitzvah, I am responsible for the mitzvah of learning, and I will fulfill that mitzvah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahatzot b'divrei Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamlamid Torah lamad Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who teaches Torah to your people Israel.
Amen.
Mazel tov, Hayley. I am so proud of you and of what you have done to prepare for your big day. Over the last few years, and especially the last few months, you have been extremely dedicated to your Hebrew studies and have taken it very seriously. I have heard you studying and practicing the prayers for many hours that you chanted and sang so beautifully today, as well as learning your Torah portion. You did an amazing job, and I know everyone here on Zoom would agree. When I found out that I was pregnant with a baby girl, I was so over the moon ecstatic. I was so excited to dress you in pink and purple. Seriously, that is all you wore when you were little, and no wonder those were your favorite colors. It was very inevitable. I was also excited to share my love for Barbies and dolls with you, and you loved both of them so very much. The cutest thing was when you tried to say Barbies, you actually said Bobbies, just like a New Yorker. We both also share the love of cheerleading, which is a wonderful memory for me, and I'm so glad I get to share that with you. Seeing you shine on the football field or on a big competition stage gives me a wonderful feeling of being the proudest mama in the crowd. When your dad and I were thinking of names for you, I wanted to have you named after two extremely strong and independent women. Independent women in my life. These two women were extremely important to me, and I wanted you to possess their tenacious qualities of being independent, determined, confident, and willing to take risks no matter what. These two ladies that lost their life so abruptly was my mother, Gloria, who is my best friend and my biggest cheerleader, and my grandmother, Helen, who was a complete spitfire and loved me so dearly. You exhibit these strong qualities and so much more. I love so many things about you. I love how confident and free-spirited you are. I love that you love singing and dancing and cheerleading. I love how amazing you are at gymnastics. I love what a great cook and baker you are. I also love how much you love your family. I love that you are a great friend and listener to those that need it. I love the bond you share with your brother and the funny little jokes you guys have. I love that you are my mini-me. I especially love the mother-daughter time that we share together because that is so very special. Hayley, I'm so proud of you and the woman that you are turning into. I am especially proud to be your mom. I love you so much. You're so good.
Hey, sweetheart. So I too am very proud of the young woman that you've become, and I'm really happy to be here today. This is just such a great day. Weather's great. You're doing wonderful. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of when it comes to you is that you just tend to go for it. And your whole life, you've just been someone that's gone for it. And I love it. And as a parent, you remember first steps and first moments. And I was, in preparing for the speech, I was trying to figure out what was the moment where I realized just that you were just awesome and fierce. And there were moments, we talk about how you used to squawk at the dinner table to get people's attention. You couldn't talk yet, but you would just go bah to get people's attention because you always had something to say.
I do remember you being 2 years old and dancing to Beyonce in our bedroom. That was awesome. And I have a video of that if anybody wants to see it. But also one thing I was thinking about is today we have Tracy here taking our photographs, and Tracy was your first daycare provider. And I remember one of the first photo shoots we ever had for holiday pictures. You were about 8, and we were taking pictures of Sean by himself, and then some pictures of you guys together. And when it got time to take your picture, you just popped your hip out. And took a photo, and there was all this sass, and it wasn't even the greatest hip hop. It looked more like I'm a little teapot kind of thing, but it was awesome, and it was sassy, and it was just so you. And that little girl has grown into the one that we see before us, that is a member of a national competitive cheerleading team, that jumps on stage with me to dance to MC Hammer on a cruise ship, to we would stuff your shoes to make sure that you're tall enough to get on the most competitive ride at an amusement park. You've got 500,000 views on a TikTok video. You swim off the boat, Aunt Judy and Uncle Dave's boat, to find the tallest rock to jump off of into the lake. And you're the only 13-year-old that I know that knows all the words to Microphone Fiend by Eric B. and Rakim. You're awesome, and I'm proud of you. And the skills that you've built with being able to just go for it will serve you really well in life. And it just makes me so proud of you. I love the young woman that you are. And Mazel Tov. Congratulations.
So we're going to kind of set you up so that you can pass the Torah to your absolutely amazing 13-year-old over here. So come right over here, Hayley. Please rise, yes.
לדור ודור נגיד גולך, לדור ודור we protect this chain, from generation to generation. לדור ודor these lips will praise God's name.
Beautiful. Yeah. Will you take this top thing off? Yeah. There we go. Okay, and you may be seated as we get ready to hear Hayley read from this beautiful scroll over here. We're going to be reading from the Torah portion, Shalach Lecha. And I'd like to call up for our very first Aliyah, Paul and Hayley Klein. Yam tu, Rivcha Bat Miriam, Pesach Ben Li Zelda La Aliyah Rishona.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarak.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'karbanu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el harod le'mor ad matai la'eda ha'ara'ah hazot asher heima malinim alai et telunot b'nei Yisrael asher heima malinim alai shamati emor elechem chai ani ne'em Adonai. Im lo zot esem.
Hold on. There you go. Kasher.
Dibartem be'oznai kein eselachem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah et v'hayei olam milta b'tzahenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasha Koach, congratulations. Thank you both so much. And for our second Aliyah, we have Bill Kornhauser, another proud grandfather. Yamod, Mordechai Ben Sfila Aliyah Sheni.
Baruch atah Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'charbonu mikol ha'amin v'tan lanu et toraso. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. B'midbar.
B'midbar hazeh yiplu figrehem v'kol pechudechem l'chol misparhem mibein esrim shana v'mala asher halinotem alai et teluno im atem tavot wait imatem tavot haaretz asher nasati et yadi leshachen dem kol ba.
Did you get lost? That's okay. That's over here. I'm not in the wrong place. Hold on. Take two. As I figure out what happened here. There we go. How do we start that one over again?
Okay.
Bamidbar.
Bamidbar hazeh yiplu figrehem v'kol pechudechem l'chol misparhem mibein esrim shana v'mala asher halinotem alai et telun.
Im atem.
Im.
You were right. You were in the right place. Yeah.
Imatem tavuo el haaretz asher halino asher nasati et yadi lechol leshachen etchem ba ki kalev ben yefune v'hoshu apinu asher I was just here. V'tachem asher halino notaim alive. Lavas lihie. That's not right. Veheveti otam et ha'ar. I was just here. Otam vayadu et haaretz asher Ba.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher asher notan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nota kizukenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher
Yasher
koach.
koach.
Congratulations.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
For our third Aliyah, we invite up the proud parents and brother, Elise, Kevin, and Sean. Yamdu, Michael ben Pesach v'Rivcha, v'Razala bat Mordechai, v'Shai ben Michal, v'Rosella la'Aliyah Shlishi.
Baruch hu Adonai Hambarah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch hu Adonai habarach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ufi Graham Atem Yiplu Bemidbar Hazeh Ufnehem Yihiu Roim Bad Midbar Arbaim Shana Venasu et Zenu Techem Atom Zenu Techem Pigraham Bad Midbar B'mizpar hamyamim asher tartem et haaretz arba'im yom lashana tis'u et advotechem arba'im shana v'nasu et votem et votem. Ani Adonai dibarti im lo zodese lechol ha'eda ha'ara'a hazot asher nodim alai b'midbar hazeh. Yitabu V'sham yamutu.
Baruch hu Adonai habarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And you guys can stay right here because this is a big moment. This is the moment where Hayley is called to do an Aliyah for the very first time. Tamod Ganesha Bat Michael v'Rosella la'Aliyah Revi.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvara.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. There, got it?
V'hanashim asher shalach Moshe ladur et haaretz vayashuvu vayalinu aliv et kol ha'eda lehotzi diba al haaretz. Vayamutu ha'anashim motziei dibat haaretz ra'a b'magefa lifnei Adonai v'hoshu abinun v'halev ben Yefune Hayu min ha'anashim hachem hacholhim ledor et ha'aretz.
And blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natal b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Good job.
We all know that becoming a bat mitzvah is not just about one moment. It's about everything leading up to today, everything that you've done in this process. But if we were to sum up one moment where you officially become a bat mitzvah, that was it right there. The moment where you are called to the Torah for the very first time, not only reading it beautifully and winning some points because you stumped the cantor. I don't think that ever happens. But
I got lost with you. It's okay.
but you really did a beautiful job and you rolled with it. And that shows enormous strength right there. But also just this moment of being called to the Torah, the first of what we hope will be many, 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 many times to come. So I'd like to offer you this Misha Berach blessing to mark this sacred moment. Misha Berach Avotenu v'Yemotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivcha Rachel v'Leah Hayavarach et Gnesha bet Machael v'Rosella Shegia l'mitzvot L'alta l'chavod Hamakom v'lichvod haTorah. My God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bring blessing to you, Hayley, as you have reached the age of responsibility and have been called to the Torah for this very first time. We celebrate the dedication that brought you to the sacred moment today. May God watch over you. May your parents continue to raise you to full adulthood, leading you to a life that's filled with blessing of Torah, Jewish learning, of chuppah, the loving relationships in your life, and of masim tovim, good deeds. May you find favor before God and the entire Jewish community, and together let us all say, Amen. Mazal tov.
Mazal tov.
We now turn to our haftarah.
That way it's nice and easy for you.
You can all be seated.
There you go.
Yes, hugs and kisses are definitely warranted.
Oops. Yeah, I don't need that in your way, actually. You've got a different mic.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar binvim tovim v'hatza v'dim v'chem hane'emarim ve'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Hafracher batocha uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'enviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayishlach Yehoshua bin Nun min hashitim shnayim anashim meraglim hevesh lemor lehu vayavulo hu et kol haaretz et Yariho vayavulo vayavulo Beit Isha Sona Ushma Rahav Vayishkevu Shama Amar Melech Yeriho Ve'emor. You lost my page. Yes.
Huh? Yeah, you're too far down. Hine Anashi.
Anashi.
Yep, Anashi.
Baru.
Hey.
Hey na halayla mi bein Israel lachpor et kol haaretz lach melech Yeriho el rahav lemor hotzi jim habayim alayik asher balagu teach lachpor et kol haaretz ba.
Listen after. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sor kol hamlamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman haomer ve'oseh hamdaber mikayem shekol derav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al avodah ve'al levivim ve'al yom haShabbat hazeh shenantata la'anu Adonai Eloheinu liktusha v'lenucha lechavod ultifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarichim otach yitbarach shimcha bifi kol hai tamid leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mechadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Good job, Haley.
Yasher koach. So we're going to take this out of the way. All of your Hebrew is done. You did a beautiful job. You can breathe a sigh of relief, but you've also put together a beautiful Torah teaching. And now we'd love to hear everything that you have to say.
My Torah portion is Shalach Lecha, and in this portion, it talks about how the Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying to send 12 emissaries, each from each tribe, out to scout the land of Israel. Were the people who lived there strong or weak? Was the land open or forfeited? So the emissaries did just that. After 40 days, they returned from scouting the land. All the spies told Moses that the land had several fruits, like grapes, pomegranates, and figs, but 10 emissaries said that the people who lived there were giants, while Caleb and Joshua said that there weren't giants there at all, which meant there was no threat. The emissaries explained that if they went into Israel, the giants would conquer them because they were large and powerful, and that they would rather die in the wilderness than risk going into the promised land. While Joshua and Caleb believed that if they would enter Israel, they would win. How could they see the same thing but give a different response? The rabbis offered different explanations. In the 4th century Talmud, Rava taught that Caleb walked away from the others in order to visit the graves of the ancestors. Maybe Caleb and Joshua didn't see much of the land to begin with. This could be the reason why Caleb and Joshua's opinion differed from the others. Another reason could be that Caleb and Joshua were simply more optimistic. They saw taller people on the land that they wanted, but they weren't giants to them. They were just normal people. The scouts were fearful in that they believed that if they would conquer Israel, they would lose, because the people who were already living there were giants compared to them. Since the scouts were disloyal, God threatened to abandon them. He told the disloyal to head back in the wilderness and die. After 40 years, then their children will enter to conquer Israel. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov taught, the whole world is a narrow bridge, and the most important thing is to not be overcome by fear. Just like the spies, I was fearful going into my many cheer competitions and losing against my opponent. I knew that if I would mess up, then everything would mess up, and I didn't want to be the one to ruin it. But then I realized fear is okay. It happens to everyone. Just like Caleb and Joshua, I strive to have confidence and hope and to believe in myself no matter what. to be independent and strong, and to appreciate and be grateful for what I've got. Not to run away because you're scared, but to face your fear, because when I do find that, what I feared wasn't so scary at all.
Say the blessing, thanking God for giving you life, for sustaining you, and for bringing us to this sacred moment here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyemanu, v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov. Good job.
Mazal tov indeed, Hayley. And your teaching is absolutely beautiful. Not only that, it was such a pleasure working with you on it, because you brought to it so much of your own insight and so much of yourself. So I'm going to offer you a priestly benediction in just a moment. But before I do, I want to offer you these words of blessing. In the Torah portion that you just taught, your lesson to us essentially was not only talking about the confidence that you have, which we saw today. We saw so much confidence. We saw so much poise. We saw so much of who you are and who you're becoming as a Jewish adult. But we also saw in your teaching this underlying message that everything is about what you bring to it, what you choose to see, and how you look at the situations that we're given, right? And you've come at this process. It hasn't always been easy. Preparing for a bat mitzvah in the middle of a pandemic, when everything is over Zoom, technology doesn't always work, you don't have as many opportunities to actually have rehearsals in the temple, all of these things you were able to overcome. Why? Because you came at it with a positive attitude. You came at it wanting to make the most of this moment and of your Jewish education in general. You came at it knowing just how important this is for you, for your family, and for the future of who you are becoming. And that attitude, that you brought to this entire process, and I hope you will continue to bring as you continue in confirmation with the cantor and then with me, is truly a blessing. And so right now at this moment, I'd like to offer you a priestly benediction, a blessing that you're offered at baby namings, a blessing offered could be every Friday night at big moments in your life and even at small moments in your life. But this here is a big moment. And so I offer you this priestly benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bestow favor upon you, and may you always find peace. And together let us say, Amen.
Amen. So, Hayley, my turn to talk on you for just a second. You were remarkable. You allowed yourself to overcome your nerves and your fears. You allowed yourself, so many people your age, if they got lost like that, would just be completely thrown off for the rest of everything. And you didn't allow that to throw you off. You allowed it to be that moment. We got you back on track and you were right there. And I think that is the lesson of your life. That in life, as Reb Nachman of Bratslav said, in life, there are going to be moments where there will be fear. And the most important thing is not to focus on that fear, but focus to what's on the other side of that fear, where you can go from that, what you can learn from that, and how you can get there. And I think that you have taught us such an important lesson today in your actions, in your words, in your Torah. The Torah of your life is a lesson to all of us. That when we listen to these words and when we embody them, when we make them part of who we are, anything is attainable. Anything can be done. So I offer you this blessing this blessing of the words that you spoke in your Devar Torah, this blessing from Reb Nachman of Bratslav, and this blessing that was so beautifully interpreted by my friend Alana Arian. Because while many people interpret these words as the most important thing is not to be afraid at all, she didn't say that in her interpretation of Reb Nachman's words. She said the most important thing is on the other side. And so we need to embrace the fear. We need to embrace the nerves. We need to embrace all of that stuff that happens because that's part of life. And we need to keep moving forward because something wonderful is waiting for you. And I can't wait, and none of us can wait to see what that wonderfulness is going to be in your life. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side of fear. Kol haolam kulo, kol haolam kulo, gesher tzar me'od. והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side of fear. Kol haolam kulo, kol haolam kulo, gesher tzar me'od. והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is waiting for you on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side of fear. So never let that fear stop you from moving forward. Mazal Tov, and thank you for a beautiful Shabbat morning service today.
So Hayley, I am going to invite you to stand right here. Because now that you've received blessings from the Cantor and I, there are so many people in our community who want to offer you gifts and who want to say some words to you in celebration for this moment. So first, on behalf of the board, we have Donnie Paquin.
Hi, Hayley. My name is Donnie Paquin, and I am here on behalf of the board of directors. First of all, Mazel Tov. What an absolutely beautiful job you've done today. We are so proud of you and all of your accomplishments studying and becoming a Bat Mitzvah. Now, you might not know this, but I used to ride in Torah school carpool with your mom. So this feels a little extra special to be able to be here representing the board today. So it is my honor to present you with a commemorative certificate and your own copy of the High Holidays Machzorim, so you can study and learn and pray with us for years to come. It has been such an honor to be a part of this day with you and your friends and family. Mazel Tov.
And now we have, for Sisterhood, on behalf of Sisterhood, Lisa Weiss.
Hello, Hayley. On behalf of Sisterhood, we'd like to present you with this Kiddush Cup. Mazel Tov on all your accomplishments.
We now have even more gifts for you. We have Andrew Kaufman, who's here to offer some words on behalf of our Mensch Club.
Congratulations, Hayley, on becoming Bat Mitzvah. You are certainly a most impressive young woman. It is my pleasure to represent the Mensch Club and present you with this set of Shabbat candlesticks. It is our wish for you that in the years to come, that you will have many more days like this to celebrate, and that you will continue to go from success to success and strength to strength. It is our hope that as each week in the future comes to an end, you will light these Shabbat candles, and that they will always welcome you and your family to a day of relaxation, introspection, and peace. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much, Andy, and we certainly hope that you will enjoy that. And now, on behalf of Randy Scher, our educator, will offer you a gift from the Federation. I think we're having a technical difficulty at the moment. So Randy, I'm sure, wants to be able to give you this, sir, but I'm going to do it for right now, just as we figure this out. But this is a book called Israel Matters, because we know that Israel is such a big part of our Jewish identity. And we hope that this is something that you'll be able to read and learn from and go back to, and that one day you will go to Israel and you'll be able to explore all of the beauty that is there. And we also have Jordan Davidson here on behalf of Speedy and Nifty.
Mazel tov, Hayley. I am the programming vice president of Speedy San Pedro Temple Youth, and Speedy is a part of Nifty. At Nifty events, which you can go to starting at the end of your 8th grade year, you can receive a bead for every event that you go to. And many Niftyites like to adorn their necklaces with charms. So in anticipation of you going to your first Nifty event, I would like to present you with a charm from Speedy. And on behalf of Nifty, I would also like to present you with a $250 gift certificate for a trip to Israel. Mazel tov, and I'm so proud of this amazing journey that you're on.
Thank you so much, Jordan, and thank you to everyone who offered gifts with such beautiful words. And I know, Hayley, that you have something that you'd like to say as well.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me to celebrate my Bat Mitzvah. Despite these tough circumstances, I appreciate you all for helping me along my Bat Mitzvah journey. With that being said, I would like to thank the Board of Directors for the Bat Mitzvah certificate and for the High Holy Days prayer book. Another thank you to the Temple Bethel Sisterhood for the Kiddush cup that I received, and thank you to the Mensch Club for the candlesticks. Another thank you needs to go to the North American Federation of Temple Youth for the 250 gift certificate for a trip to Israel. Though I have never been, it is always something I'd want to do. So thank you, the North American Federation of Temple Youth, for giving me the opportunity to go. Another thank you goes to the Los Angeles Jewish Federation for the book Israel Matters. This book I'm thrilled to read, and a huge thank you to Cantor and Rabbi for helping me prepare for this day. Thank you, Rabbi, for helping me write the Devar Torah, and thank you, Cantor, for helping me along my Bat Mitzvah journey. From prayers to holidays, I have many fond memories of Temple Bethel, and I hope to create more. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for helping me grow into the woman I am today. I appreciate your love and support all these years, and I couldn't have done it without you. You always make me strive to be the best version of myself, and for that, I'll always be grateful. Thank you, Sean, for always being there when I need you, for always sticking with me and being by my side no matter what, for protecting me and encouraging me every day, for believing in me and loving me through everything. You mean the world to me, and I don't know where I'd be without you. Thank you, Papa Paul, Grandma Lainey, Papa Bill, and Amber, and Uncle Pootie for everything you've done for me. I appreciate more than I can put into words. And a humongous thank you goes to those who came far away to watch me become a Bat Mitzvah. It means the world to me, and I hope to celebrate with you soon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So fly away.
Don't fly away.
It has been such a blessing to be able to all gather and be here today throughout this beautiful celebration, which Hayley has led us in so wonderfully. At moments like this, we really think a lot about the importance of community, about the importance of family. And I know today we have people who we are thinking of, who weren't alive to see this moment, but no doubt we're cheering you on from beyond. Gloria Kornhauser, Muriel Fife, Hal Fife, Larry Eisenberg, Leo and Zelda Klein, Herman and Helen Kornhauser, and Sylvia Almas are on all of our hearts throughout this service. And so as we offer the words of the mourner's Kaddish, which appear on page 598 in our prayer books, we think about all of them and everyone else who we hold silently in our hearts today. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we offer this prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirotei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon uvyomachon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrambam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'richu. La'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushvachata v'nechamata. Da'miram de'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. And together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. For all of you who are here online, you will have an opportunity to offer some words to the Bat Mitzvah and her family in just a moment. Give everyone a moment to set that up. And we are so, so grateful for everyone being present here. Mazal tov, Hayley.
Mazal tov. Nice job.
We'll turn it around so that at this screen, everyone's images will come up and you can all kind of say hi and talk. There they are.
There they are.
There they are.
Why don't you grab that microphone over there?
Yes,
and that
you can
way,
grab this.
That way you guys will all
And you
be
could
able
just
to
walk over there.
talk to
Okay,
them.
that works.
Dave's going to get you on camera so they can all see you. And you guys come and join her. Come see your family and friends. All those people.
Hi.
Hi there. You can read everybody there too. Mazel tov, Hayley, you were awesome. Congratulations.
Mazel tov, Hayley. Mazel tov to the whole family. Can't wait to see you next week.
Bye. Thank you.
So cool. Hi, Uncle Richard.
Hi.
Hi, Haley. This is Marla Schwartz from the temple. Just wanted to say how wonderful it was to see you, to learn from you, to hear you chant Torah so beautifully. Thank you so much. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Mazel tov, Haley. I'm so proud of you and so happy that I could be here today.
Hi, Zoe. Thank you. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Mazal Tov. You've come a long way since Aleph Bet class, and I know that everyone is very proud of you.
Hi, Lila.
I don't even know how to do this.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Great job, Haley.
You did great.
Thank you. Who else do I see?
Thank you all for joining.
I guess I don't know.
Mazel tov, Haley.
Mazel tov. What a great job you did.
Mazel tov, Haley.
Haley.
Mazel tov. You're beautiful.